to improve the people to have a better living. So now when we watch the video and also when we were hearing to the people who talked even before me, and we have the distinguished guest who will be speaking more about what actually is happening today in the world. So when we watch the video, we know what actually everybody started noticing, that there is hunger around here. So hunger. So that everybody feel hungry. So we feel hungry, but we have timely food. But how many of the people who have timely food? How many of them really are deprived of not having food? So when we keep watching those videos, maybe we have to think. We have to really, it is time for us. It has been happening since a long time, and many people, they come and stand on a podium like this, and they attend great conferences also, the world conferences on food and things like on agriculture, improving everything. They keep talking about that, but the hunger, nobody can really curb the hunger. It is still continuing. Can we really leave no one behind and maybe provide food for everybody? That is a question maybe we have to ask every day, not only on the World Food Day, but on every day. Are we leaving anyone behind when we are having food? Right? So I too, when I asked some your food technology people to give a note on the World Food Theme, Food Day theme, they also gave me the statistical details about how many are really deprived of food, and how many million people are suffering of malnutrition, and how many million of children below 4-5 years or maybe they're deprived of food, and 45 million children are estimated to be wasted, and 38.9 million are obese, and nearly 45% of deaths of children are caused due to undernutrition. So this kind of statistical detail is there. So are we really helping to really improve the statistical details of to leave no one behind and get everybody involved in having food and a better living? There's the question to be answered. So you know how people, the primitive people lived. They always used to have food, the raw food. They never even knew how to cook. Maybe the primitive people, when they knew about not the art of cooking, maybe they were very comfortable eating the raw food with whatever is available for them. But this cooking started, maybe people wanted to have some kind of tasty food or whatever the food, maybe it started become scarce. You know, there is a small Chinese story about how the cooking has started. I don't know how many of you know about that story. It seems it is a humorous story, but definitely because everybody have a morbid face now because of knowing about this hunger. So there used to be a father and son, it seems. You know about the story? The father and son, they used to have a pigsty, a huge pigsty. And every day the father used to leave the small piglets in the pigsty, and the small child with the piglets, and he used to take the bigger ones for grazing. So one day the young boy was playing with 2 stones. You know what happens when they play with stones, right? Suddenly it ignites and the fire comes out, and the whole pigsty, it is burnt. And along with the pigsty and the piglets, small piglets also, they were burnt. You know, the son was so very worried that the father will come back and he'll have this, you know what happens when the father comes home. So he was crying, and suddenly he puts his hand on the burnt piglet, and you know what the reaction, the instant reaction we have when we put something on something on burning things, right? So immediately he applied it to his mouth, and tasted so good. It must have, right? So don't think that the piglet, anything may taste good. So sorry for vegetarians, right? I feel sorry for the vegetarians. You are deprived of some really tasty food, right? So he thought that it is so tasty, and so the father comes back, and he was so angry looking at the pigsty burned down with the piglets. feeling so angry, he falls on the sand, tries to beat him, and suddenly he also burns his fingers and he applies it to his mouth. And so the father and son had a feast. That is how the cooking started. Right? So you know what happens later on. Every fortnight they used to burn the pigsty because the tax group, because they didn't know how to cook and make a stove and cook. So later on, so much of research has happened, and you know what the results are now today. So that's how the cooking started. That's how people started making use of the food in a better way, maybe, right? But how many of them were really able to have a better living? So when the register was starting, I have made a note about the wastage of food you do in your hostel. The same thing I made a note here to speak, but even before me, he has copied, right? So what maybe, I have actually, I was copying the papers, I don't know how he copied, he has something else. So a technology maybe to do that. So zero hunger, people saw. Zero hunger is the sustainable development, maybe, where we have to really, that should be the goal. This zero hunger is the sustainable development goal, goal 2 of the 17 sustainable development goals established by the United Nations in 2015. So they are still struggling to achieve this goal. So the officials who are working, they keep talking about end hunger, achieve food security, and improve nutrition, and promote sustainable agriculture. This is what they speak about. So the UN feels that 690 million people who are hungry, or slightly less than 10% of the whole world population. Just imagine. 1 in every 9 people around here goes to bed hungry each night. So think of it before you waste your food. So zero hunger we have to achieve. So it is a target to achieve before 2030. That's what they wanted to do that. So increasing hunger and goods insecurity here, really we have to really think about it, and it is a warning for every one of us, which leaves no one behind on the road to zero hunger. So think of this. So dear friends, dear students, so let this World Food Day be a reminder of the need to accelerate the efforts for better production, better nutrition, better environment, better living, better in everything. So, which will really strive for a future where no one is left behind. So, before every morsel of food which you throw in your dustbin, think about the hungry people before you do that. Really, take a walk, educate your friends, your peer group. So, just imagine how many people you can feed with the food you have thrown in the dustbin. So, you can begin a campaign and say you should not leave anybody behind. Don't leave anybody behind. So take your role, play your role perfectly, and see, never forget what you sow, you reap in your life. Never forget that. Thank you very much for giving me this.